welcome to another edition of the Ironman Insider Podcast presented by Morton. Our last special podcast of the week as we lead into the Ironman World Championship Women's Edition, and we're going to sit down with another group of some of the best athletes on the planet and get a little insight on what they're thinking about as they head into race day. Let's get chatting. I'm introducing our next podcast guest as India Lee, and what's going on? Why are you laughing?
Sorry.
You have brought the biggest entourage of anybody yet so far, and they did a good job. Some inappropriate off-camera questions,
video?
but this is good. Yeah, we got some video.
Oh no,
it's
I'm
good.
so sorry.
No,
okay, I'm sorry.
We're good. Very focused. We're doing it. How's it being in Kona with your crew here? It seems like you have a pretty light vibe.
Yeah, Kona's been great. We're having a really good time. I've got a group of friends with me, and we're keeping things light and constant laughing, getting the stuff done that we need to get done. But then around that, we're just keeping it lighthearted and enjoying ourselves.
I hear you've had a lot of guests at the condo so far. What kind of numbers have you got?
Sorry, so sorry. I'm sorry, they're in the background and I can't cope. Help. I've got Jack, Rosie and Sam here, and Sam's my coach, so he tries to keep it a little bit more serious, and then Jack and Rosie are relentless with the banter and just making us all laugh. So
yeah, I think that's fair. If I'm being honest, no offense, Jack, I didn't remember his name or where I met him, but I certainly remember exactly what my experience with him is going to be when I start from the get.
Yeah. Just laughing, basically.
It's the energy. It's good. We joke around, but like, how important is that for you to be? You're at the biggest stage in triathlon.
Yeah.
On a day that is, athletes can be fearful. You can have that pre-race anxiety, but to be laughing with your head in your hands has got to make things a little easier, right?
Yeah, so last year in Nice, I went into the race and I wanted to be anywhere other than where I was. And that race was probably one of the worst racing experiences I've had. And then this year I've got this group of people around me and there's no other place than I want to be other than here, because we're enjoying ourselves. I'm taking it really seriously. I've done all my preparation and I know that I'm here now, prepared, ready to go and race, but that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy where I'm at, because anything could happen on race day. Like, you could get bad luck, you could get a mechanical and your race could be over, and if you've taken all this time leading into it being like really serious and uptight, then it's sort of like 2 weeks of your life that you've just wasted. But if you create good memories in the build up to it and enjoy yourself with your friends, then it's not 2 weeks wasted.
Yeah, that's great. And the performance likely isn't going to be there either, right? If you're too serious going.
If you're trying too hard, then it's not going to come. And so I've done enough races now and had the experience that I know that if I'm relaxed in the lead up and I'm enjoying myself, then it's gonna be a more successful day than if I'm fractious and overthinking things.
Yeah, that's great. And I've only been around you for a few minutes so far this year, but I can feel the difference this year and last year. Last year it seemed like you didn't really want to be there.
I was pretty stressed out last year. Yeah, I was. I guess I was intimidated by the distance of the race, by the occasion of the race. I didn't think that it was a course that would suit me as much. I'd been away from home for too long and everything just sort of got on top of me. And by the time I started the race, I was exhausted. But this year I couldn't feel more opposite to that. So that's good.
Yeah, and obviously I'd imagine it's more than just having Jack and the rest of the crew here. Yeah. It's your prep and your season, obviously, with your first Ironman win earlier this year. Like that has to help. Oh yeah, that helped massively. It sort of it kind of gave me the confidence that I could execute a good Ironman like as a whole, and so
coming into this race, I know the dynamic of this race is going to be completely different to how I won the Ironman in the Saab. But having completed an Ironman distance and being pleased with the overall performance, it makes me feel good.
Awesome. And you were here 2 years ago.
I was
supporting Ruth, right?
Yeah.
Which she adds a lot to the energy.
Yeah.
So you guys were having a good time last 2 years ago for sure. Did you? Obviously, I'm sure you learned a lot from Ruth and her experiences that she's had, but also just being here on the island and watching the race.
Yeah.
What did you glean from that experience?
Well, firstly, just the whole aura that is around Kona as a race. I hadn't experienced that before, and before I came here, I was kind of like, it's just another Ironman. But then you come here and you spend the build up to the race, and you realise that it is really different and it is really special here. And watching the race was a great opportunity to learn that a lot can happen in the last 10k. So just be patient all day.
A lot can happen.
A lot can happen.
And so how has that affected your prep and your race plan coming in?
In terms of prep, it's just learning to be patient and stay controlled and don't chase the race. My race plan is just to concentrate on myself and don't get carried away trying to go with like crazy moves or whatever, because it's a long day out, and if you're sensible, then you're going to have a better day than if you try and race the race. I guess you just got to focus on yourself.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to ask you this on Sunday, but how hard is it to do that as a competitor?
I think it will be really hard to do, because I've come from the short course racing where like if you want to be competitive at the front of the race, you've got to go with it and just kind of roll the dice early on. But I think I've got enough self-control that I hope that I can save some matches for the run.
I imagine it helps a little bit to make that decision, having had the experience and the dominant win that you had in the Saab. Does that prepare you a little bit for being confident in what you can do if you're just doing your own race?
I think it shows that for me, if I concentrate on myself and doing a steady effort throughout the whole day, then I'm going to get the best out of myself. Obviously, that's tricky with pack dynamics, and I'm anticipating this race here, we're going to have a big pack out the swim. So I suppose I have to negotiate that, but then also just keep in the back of my mind that, just don't do any crazy efforts, because it will catch up with you.
Yeah, and how do you make that call, right? Like, is it you purely do you have a window of time you're allowed to be in a certain watt range and be like, once I hit that, I'm out? Or is it kind of like a blend of that and feel?
I think a lot of it will be on feel, but also knowing, I know if I get to a certain heart rate, then that's probably like a bit of a ticking clock, so back off. And then obviously I've prepared my power targets and things. So it's a mixture of everything, and just experience of knowing how you feel as you move through the race.
Yeah.
But also I've never raced Kona before, and it's a different beast, isn't it? So
what kind of advice has or does Ruth give you about this race?
Just be patient. Yeah. It gets hot. Be patient, stay hydrated, and just be sensible.
Yeah, I think most athletes could benefit from having a sticker on their top sheet that says be patient.
Yeah, cool your jets, come on.
Cool your jets. Yeah, I like it. The swim there's a lot of depth this year, maybe the most depth that I've ever seen at the Women's World Championship. Yeah. How do you prepare for that? Because I was talking with another athlete earlier, the race, you're right, there's pack dynamics on the bike, but at a certain point it becomes solitary, or you're around a few people.
Yeah.
But at the start of the race, it's all of the best athletes in the world are there. How do you prepare mentally for that? And like, what are your tactics in a swim with that much firepower?
So for the swim, I was discussing this with Sam earlier, and it is so early on in the race that you could say that it's not really that significant. If I have a solid swim, then I should be like within the chase pack. But then if I do anything reckless, like think, oh, I feel good here, maybe I'll try and like go with the pack ahead, then you can burn matches that's going to catch up with you later on. So my whole tactic for the swim is just to be as relaxed as possible while also just in the pack I want to be in. So get in the pack I want to be in, and then just chill the heck out. Yeah. Sure. I'm not interested in like chasing anything in the swim because there's nothing to be gained, but a lot to lose.
Yeah, and I mean it takes good preparation to have that advantage to be able to be like, okay, I'll get in a good swim group.
Yeah.
And just chill out.
Yeah. I'm confident in my ability, my get out speed ability from doing shorter racing. That I'll be able to get out and get some space, and then my awareness is pretty good in the swim, so I'll be able to like see who I'm around. And then it is also a case of like once you're 400 meters in, then that's kind of like where you're going to be, and you've just got to accept it, because if I try and put in a effort to try and get to a next pack, then it's wasted energy for the sake of 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'd agree. A small gap of 30 seconds, you know what it looks like at the end of the run.
Yeah, exactly.
30 seconds is nothing.
Yeah. But I could put in a 6-minute effort to try and make up 30 seconds, and that's a waste of time. So
yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah, that's great. Do you think this bike course suits you and the training that you've done leading up to it?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it suits me. It's a course that's just obviously long, straight roads, riding consistent power. You've got to be strong. It's rolling. There's the climb up to Harvey. There's crosswinds, and I think I'm a strong rider. So I think that suits me. I've done well on courses in the past which require just like long efforts in TT position, and yeah, honestly, like riding out on the Queen K, like I'm looking forward to the bike leg of this race, because I think it's going to be a fun opportunity just to like ride your bike fast, and that's fun. Yeah, it
is. And is it is that course, you still feel with the amount of time you've put in on the Queen K, coming here a few years ago, do you still feel like it's underrated, like it's harder than people think it is, or do you think it's not as big a challenge as people think?
Yeah, I think it is. It is a hard course, because you think it's just like out on the Queen K, like flattish, but it's not flat at all. It's like it's a tough ride, because the downhills they're not steep enough to freewheel, so you've got to ride hard power down them, and yeah, it's relentless. And obviously on the way back in, it's going to be hot. So yeah. And
the tricky part about it is you're managing all of it.
Yeah.
And then trying to forget and remember that you've got a marathon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In the back of your mind, the whole time you're thinking, well, this is all well and good, but you got 3 and a bit hours in the heat. So good luck.
Yeah, the run course is stinking hard.
Yeah. The run course is really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think, like, are those images... It was funny, I was talking to Lucy Charles Barkley earlier, and about... I thought it was super interesting that she watched Nice last year, because she never has watched a world championship, and she was able to see how much pain everybody's in.
Yeah.
She says she doesn't usually get to see that.
Yeah.
Are there images burned into your mind from this race 2 years ago?
Yeah, there certainly are, yeah. On that run, watching people come out of the energy lab, I was so thrilled I wasn't racing then. And then now I'm like, oh, that's going to be me. But also, that's like the joy and the charm of Kona, isn't it? That you, like, everybody knows that it's going to be hard. Everybody knows that you're going to suffer. And that's kind of a huge part of it. So I'm sort of relishing that opportunity to be part of it. to finish the race and like have the stories of like, oh, how mad was it coming out of the energy lab? Like, I've never been hotter.
That's awesome. And is that, if I ask you what you'd be happy with at the end of the day, is that experience that, or we have like a specific performance goal?
For this year, my goal is to finish and to learn a lot, because Kona wasn't always on my radar for this year, and then it was, and I'm here, and so the purpose of this year is to kind of finish, have that experience and opportunity to learn a lot, to come back next year and be like optimally prepared for it. But this year it's like I want to be able to finish and have the stories to tell that yes, I've been to Kona, I finished a world championship, and it was really hard.
And to me, again, going back to last year, it feels different, and you feel different. And I think when I saw you not finish last year, I was bummed, obviously, but I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Because of that energy.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you.
I don't think anyone was surprised.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who was close to me was surprised. I can't explain how different I feel this year to last year. So that in itself is a nice feeling.
Well, you're emitting it. So
oh, good.
That's so
I'm glad.
So no doubt that you'll get to that finish line. And I'm not sure what your nutrition is. Your nutrition plan.
Lots
is
of it
on Saturday. Lots of nutrition.
Of it. Yeah, just lots of everything.
But I'm curious as to if you ever take in solids, how you eat a Snickers bar.
Very good. Very good. Well, with difficulty probably, and the Queen K on Saturday. Yeah.
That's
brilliant. Very good. Well done. Very good.
This is good.
Yeah.
That was a question for the peanut gallery. Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
I hate you all.
You don't. That's true. I'm pumped to see how much fun you're having, and I'm excited to see you cross the finish line with that smile on your face on Saturday.
Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah. Thanks for sitting down and chatting.
Thanks for having me.
Our next guest is Solveig Løvseth, and my first question is, did I pronounce your name correctly?
That's everyone's first question. But yeah, it was good. But as I also say to everyone that asks, is that even in Norwegian, like different dialects will pronounce it differently. So it's just up to you, basically.
There you go.
So,
how do you say it?
I would say Solveig Løvseth.
Oh, there you go. See, I would not get that. I'll try harder next time. You are very new to the Ironman scene, and already here in Kona as one of the pre-race favorites. How does it feel to be here for the World Championship?
It feels great. I definitely don't feel like a pre-race favorite. Like it's definitely other people that has deserved that sort of title more. But I still hope I can impact the race and have a good one.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, the depth of the field is pretty impressive this year, and I think I'm sure people aren't putting pressure on you to maybe win, but we know that you will be part of the race and you're part of that depth of the field. How is it seeing the sport grow and continue to get faster and be part of the reason that, again, your first Ironman was the fastest debut ever?
Yeah, it's cool. I feel like I chose like a good time to get into longer distances. I feel like it's a lot of things happening there, and everything just seems to get more and more professional and more athletes and more, as I said, more depth in the field. And I also think the Pro Series helps with that it makes the best athletes race each other more often than what maybe was the case a couple of years ago. So it's exciting time to be a part of the sport, and it's fun that I also can play a part in it.
Yeah. And at the start of the year, were you going to focus on the Pro Series, and did you have maybe thoughts or expectations that you'd be in the position that you're in now? It
was like I wanted to do it, but at the same time I was also a bit open to just take it a bit like as it goes. Just I knew I was going to do Hamburg, and then since that was my first full, I just also wanted to see how that went and how that felt and how I recovered from that before I was like really committing to doing 3 Ironmans, since it's like hard to plan when you don't really know what you're getting into. But I enjoyed Hamburg and felt like I was also recovering quite well after it. So then I decided, just why not do Lake Placid as well, so I actually have at least a shot of doing well, like have enough scores at least. So really happy with how the year has gone so far.
Yeah, and you said recovery after Hamburg was good. Have you, the body feels different after the first Ironman, but certainly after the second Ironman.
Yeah.
How did you? Did it feel a little different after Placid?
Yeah, it definitely felt different. It was actually after Hamburg, I was of course very tired, but I was expecting my legs to feel worse, like just the muscles and everything to feel really bad. But I actually felt quite fine. Like it was no problem walking around, and got back into running quite fast. But after Placid, then I really understood what people were talking about. Because so many people had warned me, oh, you're not going to be able to run after an Ironman. You're going to feel just so smashed. And then after Hamburg, I was thinking oh, people are so dramatic. This is fine. But then after Placid, I was just like, oh, yes, now I understand. It's probably a bit with the course as well, that in Hamburg you get some gravel sections and stuff like that. But in Placid, it's a harder surface, and also you have those hills that are quite steep. You go downhill as well. So, yeah, it was terrible walking the next couple of days after that.
So your sightseeing in the U.S. after was a little painful getting around?
Oh, yeah. I was actually a day in New York, and then we took the subways a lot. And just walking down those stairs to every subway, it was terrible. There was so much people there, and I felt like I was always just making this long queue because I just had one pace. I had to take one step at a time, and everyone was just staring at me, I felt like, because I was just really suffering down those subway stairs.
That's great. You very obviously recent switch from short course racing, besides obviously how bad the legs feel after Ironman racing. How have you appreciated the switch? And are you surprised that it seems like from the outside your results finding it pretty good?
Yeah, it's been good. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest, and it was a bit scary also to make that transition. I've been sort of very comfortable being a part of the national team and really enjoyed that, and also done short course for actually quite a while, I think 10 years or something. So it was a hard decision, I think, but it was made also a lot easier that I continued with the same coach, with Mikal, and I've also been a lot on camps with the national team even this year, even though they are more short distance focused, which has been great. But at the same time, I've also had to take a bit more responsibility for my own training camps and my own travel plans, and just as simple things as booking my own flights. I haven't needed to do that before, so it's been that has been a transition, but it also just feels more relaxed in a way that in short course you just race so much more. I've actually only done 4 races this year, which it just seems so little, and I've had many weeks in between each race, so I feel like I've had really the time to process each race and also get a new training block in before the next one, and it's just been nice, and felt a bit more, I don't know, just relaxed.
Yeah, does it help having Mikal as someone that obviously has a lot of experience, coaching and experiencing the long course racing?
Yeah, it's been great because he's obviously coaching some other long distance athletes like Rudy von Berg, for instance, and also know how to prep for this specific race, for instance. And at the same time, it was nice to have a coach that I already knew really well, since we have been traveling so much together on camps for the last year. So it definitely made transition for me a bit less scary, that I didn't have to also start looking for a new coach, because it wasn't given that he wanted to continue, because he's hired to coach all the athletes on the national team, right?
Sure.
So this year when I'm not a part of the national team, I really appreciated that he still wanted to continue working with me, even though I'm not a part of that team officially anymore. So it's been working well.
Yeah, I'd say it's paying off for both of you. And on that, since we're there, do you is it an encouragement? It has to be an encouragement to like be able to watch Nice and see your countrymen sweep the podium.
Yeah, for sure. It's been it was great to watch it, and we have over the years been so much on training camp together, and I feel like I have a really good relationship with all three of them, and it's always just fun to see people you know well and people you know work hard actually get results, and this also definitely inspiring for me to try to do something similar at least.
There you go. Have you gotten any notes from any of those guys leading into the race?
I actually haven't asked them yet. Need to do that. At least Christian and Gustav have both raced really well here. They also raced terrible here, so they they know both. So it's always good to have people around you that have experience to ask.
No pressure, but they all won their first time.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that too. And they also won in different locations, all of them. So yeah, maybe that's the only chance you have. You need to win on your first attempt. So I mean, it's so many good people here, so I definitely don't expect that. But of course, I'll do my best.
It's always an opportunity, right?
Everyone on the start line has the opportunity, so you just need to try to make the most of it.
Yeah, and so what do you think for you? Obviously, you've shown that you have the ability to be right there. You showed that in your first Ironman with Laura and Kat. Obviously, they were first and second at Worlds last year. So you know you belong in that stratosphere. What do you think it will take for you to have your best race against those women on Saturday?
I think just try to stick to my plan, like make a good plan and then try to stick with it. But it's would always be a lot of unknown factors, like I don't really know exactly how I will react to racing in the heat. Like I've done short distance races in the heat, but for sure never an Ironman. So it's going to be hard or interesting to see how like the last part of the run will play out, for instance. But I think just try to do as I feel like I've done the other races this year. Just focus on my own race. Of course, also it's always nice to think about scenarios like who I potentially could run with or swim with, but you never know how the race will play out. So just also have your own plan and try to follow if you can, but also know when to like back off it so you don't blow your race completely. And I think this race is also a lot just about pacing. So many people have blown off here in previous races, so just stay calm and work through the day, really.
Yeah, and as you said, the heat is a big part of that. Obviously, the course itself is, and you've been here a week. How have you found the bike course? Anything surprising to you? Does it feel harder than maybe you thought, or easier than you thought, or what are you getting?
Yeah, I had actually expected the hills to feel a bit steeper, maybe. I haven't really done that much research on the course, to be honest, before I got here. So it's like a course where you basically have to work the whole time. It's no parts where it's like it's so steep that you can just relax in the downhill, for instance. I feel like it's just a course where you need to just work the whole time. I think it can suit me quite well. It's not very technical, but of course it can be quite windy, which is sort of a technical aspect to handle that. Definitely don't feel super comfortable riding down from Havi in the crosswinds yet, so we'll see if I can improve that a little bit. But yeah, I think the course suits me quite well.
Awesome. And in the run, you know, I was able to commentate your race in Placid, and I think that 2:46 was crazy. 2:46 in Hamburg as well, right?
Yeah.
So
true.
2:46 here on Saturday?
I said in another interview that I guess that's the only pace I know how to run, so I just need to go with that.
There you go. And this course, though, is underrated as far as elevation game. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like 300 meters of gain on the course. Do you think that suits you well?
Like earlier, I think I would have said no. Like I don't feel like I'm really hill runner, but I really enjoy the course in Placid actually, and a lot of the hills here are also they're not very steep, so I really like that when it's a bit up and down. I feel like I'm quite good at running like downhill, like able to relax quite much there and maybe get the heart rate a bit down and then feel a bit more ready for the uphill again. So to be able to sort of rest where you can, it won't be resting, but to get a little bit change in your stride length and stuff like that is very nice, I think. So yeah, hopefully it can suit me quite well.
Obviously, it seems and hopeful that you've got a very long career ahead of you in Ironman racing. Did you expect, and how does it feel to be in your first year at the World Championship with kind of a lot? I imagine you've gotten more, sponsors reaching out, and, getting all that attention. How does it feel in your first year to kind of be a part of it?
Yeah, it definitely feels a bit weird. I'm not used to that from the short course racing, and it also, in a way, it felt a bit spontaneous, I would say, to do a long course this year. I was actually really set on just focusing on short course, just going for LA and purely focus on that until like December, basically, where I just started to maybe think otherwise. And then when I decided that, it was just like basically from one week to another, I decided that. And then I also talked to Mikal about it, and we decided that if I was gonna do Ironman this year, then I should just purely focus on that and go all in on that. So it was like, if you'd asked me a year ago, I definitely wouldn't have thought I would even be here. So it feels quite weird in a way, and also just not to be here, but also actually feel a bit of expectations. So it's it's been a really exciting year.
That's cool. And so is the door still open for LA, or are we moving past that?
Yeah, it's still open. I was going into this year just thinking that I will do at least 1 year with purely long distance focus, and then we take it from there, just decide after this year what I'll do next. Just also see if I missed the short course or if I just enjoy this more. So I still haven't decided 100% yet, but right now I'm just enjoying this, so we'll see.
Yeah, and the Pro Series obviously has been a big part of your season with the 4 races that you did, 2 World Championships to finish. Does the Pro Series, does that take pressure away in the fact that maybe you have something else to focus on than just the result for a World Championship, or does it add pressure? How does that affect your racing?
I would say neither. I don't feel like it adds any pressure, but I really want to do well in this race specifically. Like, it's the World Championship race, so it means more to me to do well here. And the good thing about that is that if I just focus on this race and try to do well here, if I'm successing in that would also help the Pro Series. So that would just be a win-win. So yeah, that's definitely the goal. Just try to have my best race here.
Awesome. And at the end of the day, what to you would you be proud of here on Saturday?
I think it's hard to like really say what you expect result-wise, because it's obviously dependent on what the other athletes are doing. I think if I'm able to swim, bike and run to what I think is like the best of my capacities right now, then I'll be really happy. Like in Hamburg, for instance, I really felt that like I was executing all parts the way I had expected of myself, and then I was super happy with the race. And I think here, like, if 10 people are in front of me, but I feel like I've done what I can, and I feel like the training has been good, the preparation has been good, then if I also feel like I physically and mentally are able to get everything out on race day, then I will be happy with 10th. But of course you're even more happy if if it's a podium or something. But I think like you can only control your own efforts, right?
There you go. And do you have any plans after? I know you sightseed a little bit in New York after Placid. You gonna hang out in Hawaii for a couple days, or?
I think I go home Monday evening, so I have 1.5 day here. I don't have any plans for that yet. Probably just relax a bit. And I feel like the difference now is that it's only, like after Placid, I had many weeks before the next race, but now it's also only 4 weeks to Marbella, so you need to think a bit about that as well.
Yeah, perfect. Well, best of luck on Saturday, and appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, pretty excited. She's wearing bib number 1 for a reason. Laura Philipp, how's it feel to be in Kona as a defending world champion?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Yeah, it's a moment I mentally prepared for, I think, the whole year. It feels very special to come here wearing bib number 1. I haven't collected my bib number yet, but I think that will be a special moment, to put the number 1 sticker on the bike, on the helmet. And that is something I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you've had 2 fourths here and a 3rd.
Yes.
And I think for most of that period of time, I know I and a lot of media thought like you had the capability of winning, and it was always kind of when. Do you feel that the confidence you gained by winning in Nice last year has upped your level a little bit coming into Kona?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that, especially on the mental side, like winning in Nice definitely somehow showed me what I'm capable of. And also the race in Hamburg this season was another important piece, I think, just to see that I can really perform on different courses. I know Kona is a very special course for a reason, for many reasons, but I think I'm grown over the last years, and I still think the Nice course probably suited me a little bit better just because of the long climb on the bike. You just had less group dynamics, I guess. So that is mostly the biggest difference, I think, here on the island. I feel better prepared than ever. And I think, you need experience as an athlete, and coming here to race for the 4th time definitely helped me to know what I prepare for.
Yeah, and he, to me, always seemed like a confident athlete, and one that's like responded, like when you didn't win here, it didn't seem like you were dejected and it was like the end of the world. But at a certain point when you're hoping for that win and it doesn't come, I guess I'm curious if in Nice, was there a part that was like a relief or like a monkey off your back a little bit, or was it all just like positive feeling?
Well, I think if I look at my personal story on how I got into the sport, like pretty late, learned swimming with 24, and it is like pretty insane that I was able to win the Ironman World Championships, and it has always been a dream, but nothing I was really sure that I will ever be able to achieve it. So it was definitely a driving force and training day in and day out, to try to be my best. But then there's also so many other strong women who have the same plans, same dreams, and are also incredibly talented, maybe even more talented in swim, bike, run than I am. And so I think I did dream of it. I did work hard for it, but it still kind of surprised me, I was never sure that I will be able to win. I don't know if you can. Maybe if you're like Lucy, who came second so many times, you're like, okay, like next time I'm the one. But you said it, like I came 4th twice, and every race is different, right? One year I had to deal with the 5-minute penalty, which was a big setback, and so many things can happen. So I think at the end you can prepare your best, and then you still have to deal with whatever race day has in store for you. So of course I tried to prepare the best way possible, and I have this one big goal and dream in my mind to execute a perfect race here on the island. But then I'm also well aware that so many things can happen and go wrong, and that especially with like the race course here, I will need like a really, really good day and show my best performance.
Yeah, and I think it's having that knowledge that you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like, and certainly the year with the penalty, but nobody has a perfect day. But it seems like part of the reason why I was always confident that you would win was because it never seemed like you had a perfect day in Kona. Something always happened. Did that give you some of the tools to then be able to win in Nice and then come back here and have the ability to maybe win on Saturday, knowing that even not at your best, you're still right there?
I think what I have shown over the last years is a high level of consistency. I think, I was able to really perform well on the big stages, but also throughout the season. And this year in particular, I really tried to not race too much. But when I race, try to really be there, like with full energy, like ready to go. And I'm hoping that this will pay off. I knew that there is more attention on me as the defending champion, more pressure, maybe also more expectation, and also more appointments around races. So, we really try to make sure that over the long season, I will be coming here, feeling I still have like a lot to give. And I think in order to have a good performance here, you really need to be able to dig really deep. And this is also something that, you need to prepare for mentally. And I think the willingness to do that is super important, especially here, where, your core body temperature might be high super early in the race. And then from that moment on, it might feel like a struggle, and then it can become a very long day. But we try to focus more on heat preparation. And looking back, honestly, I feel like I've never really prepared for the heat in the last years when I was on the island. So I think I took it a bit too easy, maybe, cooling down all the time, having ice cubes everywhere. And I kind of tried to do it differently this year and save the ice cubes for race day. And hopefully this kind of different preparation will help me to feel better in the race.
Yeah, and I love how you've built your season, because I talked to you earlier in the year for the Ironman Insider podcast, and we talked about the fact that you were Nordic skiing that day and that you were going out for more, right? So like you're saying that you're doing much more specific prep for this race, but you also clearly were doing the right type of work and prep to keep you mentally sharp to be able to have the season that you've had, but also fresh enough to have a big build coming into Kona?
Yeah, for sure. So, I looked at the last year's world champions, and I think Daniela was the last one who was really able to win back-to-back. And Lucy, Chelsea, Anne, they all, maybe had a bit of a difficult year the year after the title. And also, if you look on the men's side, Sam, and like, it's a difficult year because some things change, and you maybe have a lot more going on beside your training. Right. So time is very precious. Like you may even have less time for recovery and so on. So, I really wanted to make sure that I could still have a good year the year following, and really try to enjoy it, to race as the Ironman world champion, but also be able to maybe, use like the experience and also the mental strength that I gained from achieving something like this to trying to, have another great performance on a different course.
Yeah, and to me it's really impressive, honestly, that the patience that you've had, or just the wisdom you and your coach had leading into this year, being like the fact that you've only raced 3 times. Like most people off of, and part of the problem, I bet if we look back at the results of those champions that didn't win the next year, they were maybe pressured to race a lot more, and because they're getting more sponsors, all these things, more opportunity. But you still, I imagine this race was part of the reason why you did that so well.
Yeah, so I think it was really tempting, to go for the Ironman Pro Series, for example, but then I would have had to race way more often over the year. And I was lucky enough to have big races in Germany, and traveling is also very exhausting. So I thought, if I can minimize my travel throughout the season, and then I have the big travel over to Hawaii at the end of the year, I might feel less exhausted throughout the season, and that definitely paid off. It was a bit sad to only race 3 times, but then when I look back, those 3 races, they were quite intense, and especially Ironman Hamburg, maybe took a little bit more out of me to recover from, like mentally and physically. Looking back, I think it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah, and looking at Hamburg, obviously looking at the results, like it's just crazy what you did out there. And that run, the whole race, but obviously that run was kind of a new threshold for us. Was that, like, do you look back, is that one of your best races ever? And then, like, does that prepare, like that individual race prepare you mentally to be able to do something special out here?
I think so. Like, I'm not sure if it was the best race because I don't have any bike data, because my computer broke. But when I judge my feeling and so on, I think we went hard, and I think the time was fast. So it must have been
pretty good.
A pretty good performance. And yeah, to back it off with like such a strong run, obviously was really cool. And it was a crazy experience because I pretty much race by feel and obviously by dynamics. And I think just by that and by having Kat as being such a strong competitor, I really had to show everything I had on that day. And it was definitely kind of a mind barrier breaking day for me as well, because now I know that I'm capable of running that fast, for example, and going that fast, and also to have such an intense battle. I think it's definitely something you have to undergo in a race, to then kind of know how you're dealing with it, if you're able to come out as a winner of such a competition. And I think those are super important lessons for future races, and maybe even for the race here on the Big Island.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, and there hasn't been a lot, but you and Kat have had some battles now, right? And are certainly pushing each other. And I think there's, not an expectation, but it's likely you guys will cross paths on Saturday. Is part of the reason that you are becoming the best athlete you are because of the way the rest of the field is coming up? Maybe not just Kat specifically, but I imagine what you guys are doing is 3 years ago when you were third in Hawaii, you ran a 2:55. And now you'd be like, if you ran a 2:55, you'd be extremely disappointed, I imagine, right? Like how quickly it's changing.
Well, looking back, I was surprised that I couldn't really run faster on the island, but I think the running over here is just different, right? I think in those years I was also able to run 2:45s in other Ironman races with cooler temperatures. So I think this course here doesn't really have any flat sections. It's either up or down, and then it also depends so much on how much energy you had to spend on the bike, for example. And as someone who has to chase a long time, coming from further behind, obviously I think in the previous years I maybe had spent too much energy on the bike already, and then you can't really execute your best run anymore. But still, I think I'm also improved my run, especially like from a technical standpoint, I think especially when you have to run up and downhill, you need to play with your center of gravity, to be super efficient with that. And I think this is something I've become better at as well. So I'm just excited to see if I can run faster. But I'm also humbled enough from the previous races to know that, it can go in the other direction if you really try to push it too hard.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like from the outside looking in that you are the best runner that you've been. And to me, it's kind of crazy looking, because I remember when you came across the radar, for me at least, commentating, I think it was 2017 World Championships in Chattanooga, 7.3.
Yeah.
And your run was amazing, right? And you've continued to improve, and that's almost, 10 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
are you impressed with what you and your team have been able to do with your longevity, especially, as you said, coming into the sport late, and maybe it's because you came in the sport late?
Yeah, absolutely. But still, when I started competing, it was good for a female professional to run like a sub 130 over the 70.3 distance, right? And then it became 120 and so on. Now I think we're close to, I don't know, 110 maybe, 115 at least. And the level is just has gone up and up and up. And I'm super proud that, you know, I'm still working with my first ever coach and husband, Philipp, and that we were able to develop, my skills and my fitness over the years. And always found new ways to challenge me. Some athletes need coach changes for like new stimulus and so on. And I'm just proud that we're still the team from day one and continuously making progress. And then obviously I'm also not the youngest anymore, even though my Whoop age is 21.
Really?
Which I try to look at all the time right now because I saw like a list of the age of all the competitors and I'm like on the far bottom.
Oh, funny.
And that doesn't feel too good. But then on the other hand, it's how you feel, right? Like age is just a number. And it's also something to be proud of. Like, I think, like the older athletes now can really show what's possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you put all the youngsters in your rear view, then it doesn't really matter, does
Exactly.
it? And I will say, I think, and I'm glad that you appreciate the uniqueness of, it's hard to separate your relationship with your husband, but also the fact that you've been able to maintain that coaching relationship for 10 years is pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So coming into the race on Saturday, is there anything you're doing or did specifically different than you have in the past? I know you said it's more heat training and all that, but like as far as execution on race day, is your race plan similar to what it's been?
I think the build has been different because we also sat down in the winter and we said like, is there anything, should we just repeat what we did last year and you became world champion in Nice? And then we thought, no, like Kona is a different challenge and it's a very different race course, obviously. And then you also can't expect the same outcome by repeating what you've done before. So I definitely got to train a few different sessions. You mentioned the cross-country skiing, what I did over the winter for a long time. So my build was a bit slower than the less racing. But then, I think since my last race in July, I pretty much focused on the Kona build-up. And I did another altitude training camp where I just know that altitude has a similar stimulus than heat training. It just helps me increase my blood volume, for example, and just get fitter. And after that training block, we started to introduce more specific heat training. For me, for the first time, really layering up and getting those really hot, sweaty sessions in. And I have to say, they are mental. If you really rise your core temperature to a certain degree and try to stay there, there's maybe the point where heart rate and watts are the same number, and that's a bad place to be in.
I'd say it is.
But it's also a fun experience. Like you really feel like you're working hard, make it count. So those were some mental sessions. But I think if you look at what my competitors did, I guess they did all the same. So you kind of tell yourself, it will pay off. Everyone is doing it. You have to.
Yeah.
And then we went to Hawaii early. So we did what we've done in the years before. We went to Maui for my last heat preparation camp. That is now already 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it was important for me to have like a last hard training block under the conditions. And that was good. It was intense. I had points where I was like uncertain, oh my God, was this too much? It's a fine line, especially when you go hard in the heat. I think you need to go hard to a certain percentage, but then you also hear athletes saying like, oh yeah, I digged myself a hole, and I never came out of it. So I continuously had those conversations and thoughts in my mind, but I'm glad the training block is done. Everything went well, and now I'm excited to taper and kind of take it easy until the race day.
Yeah, and Maui's not a bad place. It's one of my favorite places to ride a bike. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's also super windy.
Yeah.
Philipp, my husband and coach, he was happy because he went kiting nearly every day. But every time I saw him checking the wind radar and he was like, oh yeah, this looks like a great day, I knew that I will be ending up riding on the indoor trainer. But I guess that was also good preparation for this course because it's pretty much head down and, you know, power all the time.
Yeah. And you spoke a little bit about the difference, or your training with the heat, and obviously you're using some sensors to know core body temperature. Do you think it's, you joked about your age, but with that comes experience, and you've been able to see, when you first came out here and were racing the distance, like none of that was happening, right? And like nutrition was so different, and the shoes were different, and me and my brother were sitting down the other day being like, oh, we'd run this if we had, this, but like you've been able to feel the difference. Is it crazy to you how much the sport's changed? Obviously the performances, it's the athletes and they're doing that, but how the technology has changed and that you can't leave any stone unturned now.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely crazy. And I think I also entered the sport at a time where we didn't have the carbon shoes, and also aerodynamic wise on the bike, we were still far back, and I started to go to the wind tunnel, for example, pretty early, and I think that has always been a little bit of an advantage for me over the years. I think now pretty much everyone is doing it, so I think that advantage is gone, but it's also a more fair playing ground, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I could see how my setup got faster, just seeing the numbers in the wind tunnel, and then also seeing it on the race course that I was just able to go faster, right? And I mean, at the end, the goal is to go as fast as possible with as little effort as possible, right? And that's the same with the shoes. I mean, I ran my first Ironman marathon in Barcelona, and I think I did a 2:50. But looking back on the shoes, those were like race flats.
Yeah.
And I remember that my feet were hurting, right? Like, I think from the half marathon on, they were just hurting. And then after the race, I probably couldn't walk for a week or so. And now with the new shoes, I think you're just recovering faster. I'm not sure. Of course, you can go a little bit faster with less impact, I guess. But I still think, I love those kind of race flat shoes. I sometimes miss them because most companies, they go bigger, higher. And it's still important to train with like flatter shoes as well. But it's just incredible what technology helped us to get faster, but also be able to, I guess, train more or recover better. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's cool. And obviously, as you said, it's kind of a level playing ground. Like the women you'll be fighting with for the win are doing the same thing. And as far as that goes, who are you looking to as realistically, when you're visualizing, you always visualize somebody on your shoulder, right? Like, and obviously it's a personal experience, but who do you think is going to be out there with you kind of making the race?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they are out there with me, like at the same time, but maybe not close together. So I'm honestly preparing myself for a bit of a lonely chase race. And I think if I get my chance to come to the front, it will be very late. That's like the scenario I'm preparing for. And if I find myself like in a very nice swim group or bike group and I'm further up, that's like, positive and I'll take it. But I think for me personally, it's always kind of best to prepare for the worst scenario, like the hardest. But yeah, I mean, I think we kind of say it every year that it's like a super stacked field, but this field is definitely super stacked. I think it has not been very often that we have 3 world champions racing, and everyone seems to be healthy, fit, ready to go. And in my opinion, Lucy Charles will be the one to beat. She just has this advantage to be in the front from the beginning, and I think all the rest will be chasing her. I see Taylor maybe riding with Lucy, I don't know. So she will be there up as well. And then obviously Kat, myself. But I also think there are others like Chelsea. I mean, she has shown that she can win this race. So I think she is definitely one of the favorites. And then also some rookies, like Solveig or Lisa Pertera. Like there are many exciting athletes. And I think we will have a lot of dynamics going on, and hopefully this will be an exciting race to watch from back home.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt that it will be, and you're right, a talented field for sure. And it sounds like look for you to come around the back half of the marathon, huh?
I will give everything.
No doubt. Well, thanks so much for sitting down and chatting with us. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Great stuff from Solveig, India, and Laura. Obviously, 3 women that have prepared as best as they can for race day. We see 3 different goals as well. Clearly, Laura wants to defend that title. Solveig wants to, have the best race that she can and still put herself at the top. And India kind of here for the experience. And clearly, she's having a good time while she's here. And I know we all are going to have a good time watching these ladies battle it out on Saturday. So be sure to tune in to the coverage. And again, thanks so much for listening to the Ironman Insider Podcast presented by Morton. I'm your host, Matt Lieto. We'll see you next time.